Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Recently, I sat in church next to a mother and father and their three or four young boys. Just young boys. They're all under a certain age, and they're young and they're active. And one of them was like moving and talking and everything through the sermon, and then he fell and hit his head, and suddenly he was quiet. And there's one that loves to climb out and just escape to the altar as soon as they begin preparing for communion. As soon as he sees the preparation, he is running. He's trying to escape and run up to the altar, which just is like, yes. Anyway, so they were near. We were in the same pew, just to the left of them, and so he kept climbing through, and his mother was trying to wrangle him because she didn't want him to bother us. And I was like, he's fine. And he just would get so far, and then we wouldn't let him get escape, and then he'd have to go back, and then he'd come back the other way. And then one of the times they gave him a leaflet that was in the program, and he grabbed it out of my hand and he was like, ooh. And then he went back and he started folding it and doing things, and so he became my little buddy. And after church, the mother came over and said, thank you so much for being so kind and so patient with my kids. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? What do you, it's to have young people in a church and young couples with their children in church, what joy it is. And I said, you have no idea that this is like a flashback, because I got three at once, and the oldest was 8, and then it was a year and a half, and then it was 3 months, and then two more kids came, and then other kids started hanging out. And so she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, this is your kids are fine, they're beautiful. And she was like, thank you so much. And you could see the relief that she had, because people can be, difficult about kids when they're young and moving, and they possibly loud, and they sometimes distract some people. Children are not a distraction to me. Well, fast forward to last night, and had a group of my kids in the kitchen making homemade ramen, and other kids were online from California. We're all on Zoom, and the ones in the kitchen were cooking, and the ones in California were packing and preparing to go. They're moving to Ecuador. And so there's grandkids and kids, and we're all laughing and talking at the same time. And the grandbabies are like, "Hey, hey, hi, cousin, hi," and it was all of that. And then there's a kid who grew up with my kids, and he's a grown man, and he's in the kitchen cooking, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember, blah blah blah," but he's been a part of the family for so long. And then my daughter in love grew up with my kids, and so they all had these generational stories that they were sharing. And I flashed back to that mother who was worried that her kids might be too much, to now where my kids are sharing their hopes and their dreams and their skills and their abilities. And I saw that mother in the future with these kids who would still want to go to the altar with their mom and dad. You can't always see the future, but you can imagine it. And whatever you imagine, God will go exceedingly abundantly above and beyond whatever you can think or ask. I could not have asked for a night like last night, where even though I was in physical pain, my spirit, my soul, my psyche was soaring. I love you.